The concept introduced in The Mystery of the Lost Colony refers to the enigmatic disappearance of the Roanoke colony, established in 1587 on Roanoke Island in what is now North Carolina. This event is one of the oldest unsolved mysteries in American history. The colonists, consisting of 115 men, women, and children, vanished without a trace by 1590. The only clue left behind was the cryptic word CROATOAN carved into a post, sparking centuries of speculation about its meaning and the fate of the settlers. This point is significant in relation to the main topic, as it sets the stage for examining the CROATOAN connection. The story of the lost colony is not just an isolated historical mystery. It symbolizes the numerous challenges faced by early European settlers in the New World, including severe environmental conditions, strained relations with indigenous peoples, and limited resources. Understanding this backdrop is crucial to exploring whether the word CROATOAN was a deliberate message or part of a larger narrative involving survival and integration with local tribes, particularly the CROATOAN people, also known as the Hatteras. Two specific examples highlight this mystery's significance. First, the modern archaeological efforts on Hatteras Island, where researchers have discovered European artifacts dating back to the late 16th century, suggest a potential integration between the missing colonists and the CROATOAN tribe. Secondly, historical accounts, such as those from John White, the governor of the colony who returned to find it abandoned, offer clues through their detailed descriptions and hypotheses, further fueling the intrigue. Support for the idea that CROATOAN was a message warning or indicating relocation comes from historians like David Beers Quinn, who theorized a planned and organized move by the settlers to assimilate with the indigenous tribe. However, this theory faces challenges. Skeptics argue a lack of concrete evidence and question the ability of all settlers to have integrated successfully into tribal life. Some believe external threats, such as Spanish forces or other European actions, could have led to their demise. This point connects intricately with the wider narrative about the interactions between European settlers and Native American tribes, shedding light on cross-cultural exchanges and conflicts during early colonization. The mystery's unresolved nature continues to captivate and raises questions about the scope of historical documentation, the reliability of oral histories, and the complexities of interpreting scant evidence from the past. Understanding the mystery of the lost colony propels further inquiry into how early settlers communicated, survived, or perished in unfamiliar territories, highlighting their resilience in the face of adversity and the enduring legacy of these early colonial endeavors. The contextual background of the Roanoke settlement is pivotal in understanding the mysterious disappearance of the settlers and the enigmatic message CROATOAN that was left behind. Roanoke Colony, established in 1587 on Roanoke Island in present-day North Carolina, was one of the first English attempts to establish a permanent settlement in the New World. The endeavor was fraught with challenges, including supply shortages, tensions with local Native American tribes, and harsh environmental conditions, all of which contributed to its vulnerability. The significance of the Roanoke settlement's context lies in decoding the mysterious fate of its 115 settlers. CROATOAN was found carved into a post of the abandoned colony, hinting at a possible relocation to CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island. Understanding the settlement's background, including its geopolitical and socio-economic challenges, offers crucial insights into why this carving might have been left as a message. Two specific examples illustrate this point. First, the settlement's reliance on resupply missions from England meant that the colonists were left isolated for extended periods. When John White, the colony's governor, returned to Roanoke in 1590 after a delayed absence, he found the settlement deserted, the word CROATOAN offering a solitary clue. Second, the friendly relationship with the CROATOAN tribe, unlike the often hostile interactions with other tribes, suggests that the settlers may have sought refuge with them, making the message a logical touchpoint. Supporters of this theory argue that the settlers integrated with the CROATOAN people, a concept bolstered by later reports of European features observed in Native American populations in the area. This intermingling theory, however, is not without its challenges. Skeptics point to the lack of concrete archaeological evidence to support the integration claim. Moreover, controversies arise over whether CROATOAN was indeed a directive or merely an unfulfilled intention, as extensive searches over the years have yielded little definitive evidence. This contextual background intricately connects with the overarching mystery of the Roanoke settlers, by framing CROATOAN as a possibly crucial clue in unraveling their fate. Understanding these historical dynamics not only enriches the narrative of the lost colony, but also influences theories and discussions surrounding one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries. By examining these layers, we gain a deeper appreciation of how historical context shapes our interpretations, and the ongoing quest for answers in this enduring enigma. The disappearance of the Roanoke colonists, often referred to as the Lost Colony, is a historical event that remains one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries. In 1587, over 100 English settlers, led by John White, established a settlement on Roanoke Island, present-day North Carolina. When White returned from a supply trip to England in 1590, he found the settlement deserted with no sign of struggle, violence, or any of the colonists' whereabouts. The only clue was the word CROATOAN carved into a wooden post. The significance of the colonists' disappearance in relation to the message CROATOAN is profound. This clue has led historians and archaeologists to speculate endlessly about its meaning and the fate of the settlers. It raises questions about whether it was a message indicating the settlers had moved to CROATOAN Island, or if it was a distress signal or a reference to a local tribe. This mystery impacts our understanding of early colonial interactions with indigenous peoples and the challenges faced by early settlers. One potential connection emerged from archaeological evidence suggesting European artifacts were found on Hatteras Island, lending credence to the theory that the settlers integrated with the Croatan tribe. Another example is the influence of this mystery on popular culture, inspiring numerous books, films, and even television shows that explore various fictional resolutions to the mystery. Opinions differ greatly on the significance of the word CROATOAN. Some historians argue it was a clear message, while others believe it might have been incomplete, or even a deliberate ruse. Skeptics question the emphasis on a single word, suggesting it could have been a coincidence or misunderstood signal. Challenges and controversies persist regarding this topic. For instance, some critics argue that excessive focus on the word CROATOAN overlooks broader historical contexts, like the settlers' precarious relationship with local tribes and the harsh environmental conditions they faced. Alternative viewpoints propose that the settlers may have perished due to starvation, disease, or conflicts with indigenous inhabitants, independent of any cryptic message. The disappearance of the Roanoke colonists serves as a crucial juncture in understanding the early attempts at colonization by the English and their interactions with Native Americans. It forces us to consider the dynamics of survival, adaptation, and cultural merger in a new world, influencing ongoing research and curiosity about America's colonial past and its numerous untold stories. The CROATOAN carving is a mysterious and enigmatic element in the story of the lost colony of Roanoke, where over 100 English settlers disappeared from Roanoke Island in the late 16th century. This single word, CROATOAN, was found carved into a wooden post of the deserted colony, sparking centuries of speculation and investigation. The significance of this carving lies at the heart of theories about the fate of these settlers. One interpretation is that CROATOAN referred to CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island, suggesting the settlers might have moved there in hopes of survival. This connection is critical as it directs researchers and historians to focus on local interactions and explores the possibility of integration with indigenous tribes. The importance of this interpretation extends beyond historical curiosity. It challenges us to reconsider narratives about early colonial encounters and emphasizes the complexity of these interactions. For example, recent archaeological findings on Hatteras Island have uncovered European artifacts intermingled with native ones, suggesting some form of contact or coexistence. Another example is the oral histories of the Lumbee tribe, who claim descent from the CROATOAN and may provide a living connection to the Roanoke settlers' fate. These narratives and discoveries breathe life into an otherwise silent history. Some historians and researchers support the idea that the carving was a straightforward message, a clue left behind by the settlers indicating their new location or intended destination. Yet this hypothesis is not without challenges. Critics point out the lack of definitive evidence linking the settlers to Croatoan Island and argue that the inscription could have been carved under duress or as a ruse. Competing theories propose alternative conclusions. Some suggest the settlers were lost at sea, exterminated by hostile tribes, or perished due to hardships. Others argue that the Croatoan carving could be a mere coincidence, reflecting nothing more than a word unrelated to the settlers' ultimate fate. In trying to solve the Roanoke mystery, the Croatoan carving compels us to explore various hypotheses about early colonial life, survival under duress, and the merging of cultures. It serves as a focal point that connects archaeological evidence, indigenous narratives, and historical research. This interplay enriches the broader discourse on the lost colony, prompting further investigation and deeper dialogues about the early experiences and adaptability of settlers in the New World. Like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for more content like this.